Happy Devil's Friday. This is The Woo Report. The Woo Report, episode 294. Coming to you live from the Primetime Radio Studios in the bunker. As it's either freezing rain, sleeting, snowing outside. What a game last night. I'm your host, Sam Woo, streaming live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitter Live, and Twitch on the Let's Go Devils Network. Big weekend coming up for your New Jersey Devils. We've got the Montreal Canadiens up in Montreal. 7 p.m. Eastern start, 6 p.m. game day live, and Devils After Dark tomorrow. And also the Carolina Hurricanes, first place in the Metropolitan Division. That showdown, very important for the New Jersey Devils as they try to move up in the standings. And it would be a good time for the Devils to catch up to Carolina, being there. It could be potentially a 4-point game, whereas the Devils would have to win in regulation. Carolina losing regulation, gaining steam on Carolina would be beneficial. Leading the way, Dawson Mercer has been hot, has been scorching hot as of late. I think he has like 11 goals and 8 assists. I don't know how many games, but he's just been hot. Eric Haula starting to heat it up. I've said this all along about Haula. All he has to do is finish. Just finish. And down the stretch he is. I told you this a while ago. I think Eric Haula down the stretch into the playoffs, he will be the player that will make you very happy. And last night he played very well. I think the Devils right now are coming together as a cohesive unit. Hopefully Lazar finally adjusts. Finally joins the team. But Timo Meier, I'm going to say this about Timo Meier. Because I see, I get bashed on Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter at Primetime Sam Woo. You can also follow the Let's Go Devils podcast at Let's Go Devils Pod. I get bashed on Twitter quite a bit, which is fine because I really don't care. Keyboard warriors are such tough people. But, some fans made some legitimate points that I want to address about Timo Meier and a lot of the analytics coming out in the first 3 games of Timo Meier. Well, let me see if I can pull that up, and I just want to, make a point here, but also, let's see here. My Twitter, everything is just, let's see. That Timo Meier, since he's been acquired, the New Jersey Devils have been so dominating with him on the ice, 5-on-5. All right, 50 to 31 shot attempts, 30 to 13 shots, 30 to 14 scoring chances. A 64.53. I don't know what that stat is. He's also got 13 shots and 11 hits in 3 games. Oh, my gosh. Dude is a game changer, says James Vellani. Devils a Army blog, which are facts. But you know what? Let me tell you something, folks. And you know what? I only speak the truth here. I'm not saying I'm right, but I speak the truth here on the Woo Report, which is why I do the report. You can send me all the statistics you want. You can send me all that stuff, how great Timo Meier is, because he is. But it's what my old hockey coach used to say, it doesn't mean beep if you take a bad penalty. 2 games in a row, Timo Meier took a bad penalty in the most crucial moments of the game. And it doesn't matter how good you are, a bad penalty can negate all that great stuff that people have been saying about Timo Meier. Okay? This is not a knock on Timo Meier, because the good news is these bad penalties are correctable. First 2 out of 3 games, the last 2 games, Timo Meier, remember the high sticking to the rafters penalty? That was lazy. Last night's penalty in overtime. Again, I said this on Devils After Dark. Look, I can accept that. It's just one of those things. But regardless, it's still a bad penalty. And it could have negated what Timo Meier did throughout the entire game with these wonderful sports analytics that everybody throws at me and throws at you, thinking like sports is such a science that they forget the basic rules of hockey. When I was coached, whether it was in lacrosse or hockey, both sports are very similar, lacrosse and hockey. They never weaponize your stick was one thing one of my my lacrosse coach always said. It also applies to hockey as well. You got to control your stick at all times. First thing they teach, when you teach a clinic, little kids, the first thing is safety, right? Keep your head up and your sticks down. That's like basic hockey 101, all right? And where am I going with this is that Timo Meier took 2 bad penalties. And if Timo Meier can mitigate some of these bad penalties in late games, he would be a complete player at this point. Yeah, he is a game changer, but bad penalties are game-changing as well. Same with bad officiating. It could be game-changing. That's all I'm saying. And, all the haters, they would just say, blah, 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 blah. You hate Timo Meier. No, I'm on Timo Meier just like Jack Hughes when I called him Mr. Turnover about 1.5 years ago. Look, if he can clean up parts of his game, he could be a real complete player. We're talking about possibilities of getting into the Hall of Fame, even with Timo Meier. You just got to clean up parts of your game. And I'm telling you, Timo Meier got bailed out by, I said this on HockeyBuzz.com blog today, he got bailed out by John Marino in overtime on the penalty kill because they were able to just run out the clock. That could have been bad for Schmid. That could have been bad for the New Jersey Devils. They could have lost a point there. And then Akira Schmid bailed out his team, making 4 saves in the shootout, and then gave Timo Meier the opportunity to win the shootout. And I credit Timo Meier for finishing and getting the job done. However, it takes a team to win. His teammates bailed him out last night after that bad penalty in the later stages of overtime. And that's the truth. Sometimes the truth is uncomfortable, folks, but that's the reality. But like I said, here's the positive spin on it. These things are correctable. You can't teach talent, but you can teach a player not to take a bad penalty. It's called discipline. And it will take time. I gave it 6 games. Some people misconstrued that on Twitter as I'm done in 6 games. No, it has nothing to do with me. I think it would take 6 games for Timo Meier to adjust to the time zone. Even the what's that thing called? Daylight savings, a new culture, going from the West Coast to the East Coast, all that kind of stuff. It'll take him 6 games to really get acclimated with his teammates. And we will see an optimized 100% Timo Meier, especially after he's coming off of an injury. So far, he's done pretty much the best he could. Just need to clean up the game a little bit. Seeing some of the comments on the YouTube Live, Twitter Live, and Facebook Live. This is the Woo Report, episode 294, talking about the big Devils weekend ahead. But Carolina is going to be a big one. Carolina is going to be a big one. And I'll tell you, and I will tell you, that it's not a make or break of the Devil season if they don't beat Carolina. But I will say that it would be nice to beat Carolina. Feeling good down the stretch. But the real team, I think, right now, that will give the Devils some little playoff action is because they play Tampa 2 games in a row, Tuesday and Thursday. Who did that scheduling? Plus, they're going to go down to Florida for a back-to-back Saturday and Sunday. Florida and Tampa Bay. I love those games. I love those snowbird games down in Florida. Steve Engel says Carolina has the first pick in the draft. Oh, you mean hockey, the Canes, LOL. Oh, yeah, the Chicago Bears, Vinny Parisi's Chicago Bears made a trade today. I thought it was a great trade for Chicago, to be honest. I mean, that's a lot of draft picks coming back, plus to get a wide receiver. But we're talking a little bit of football. But let's get back to Devils hockey because it's a big weekend. Sunday night, can't wait for that game. At the Rock, talk about Dawson Mercer and Eric Holla. Boquist getting some time on the second line. But what about Yegor Sharangovich? He's the odd man out, and I kind of feel bad that he's that guy right now. The odd man out. The one that, is riding the pine, so to speak. But don't discount Sharangovich. Injuries do happen, folks. They do happen. And then it really should be next man up. It takes a team to win the Stanley Cup. It really does. Montreal Canadiens, that's not going to be an easy matchup. You know a Martin St. Louis team will try their best effort. By the way, the Devils did lose to Montreal last time they played. But I'll tell you, it's going to be a tough weekend. These back-to-backs are not easy. And they've got 2 weekends in a row, back-to-back games. The one in Florida and the one this weekend. Now, how about those New Jersey Devils against the Capitals? I mean, the Capitals had the Devils' number for so many years lately, up until now. And I thought the Devils handled them just fine last night. Again, I don't put too much stock into shootout wins, but the Devils dominated. They mostly dominated that game, and that's something to be proud of, and that's something to be positive about. But, yeah. All right, well, what else are we going to talk about tonight here on the Woo Report? I went on Twitter. It seemed like everybody took a day off. Amanda Stein tweeting out, nice story. She's back in Montreal, seeing her nephew for the first time. I thought that was nice. Nice to see. Again, there's a motto here on the Let's Go Devils podcast. family and health comes first. And it's always good to see that. Because, you know, when I'm on Twitter, I mean, look, I got this one guy. He said he just tweeted at me during the podcast, STFU. It's like, well, he called me a clown, and I looked on his Twitter account, and instead of saying Timo time, it says time. So I just said, learn how to spell, and that's what he responded with, STFU. Hey, if you can't handle the heat, stop throwing rocks at me. I didn't do anything to you. Anyway, let's see. Max Petnoff says only 2 games tonight. Chicago versus Florida. Calgary versus Anaheim. Who cares? Completely agree with you. But then again, hockey's hockey. Let's see here. Steve Engel says, did you see the stat last time we played the Capitals? Ovechkin has the least amount of goals against us in the Eastern Conference. Interesting that you say that, Steve Engel. Meow. But for many years, Ovechkin had to go up against the great Martin Brodeur, and that wasn't very easy. Let's see here. Timo's move to the goal was great, says Ted. Let's see here. Supernova. Hey, look at Supernova, what he did for me. Gave me this nice gift. Love it. I love, you see on the camera feed, this wonderful art designer we've got here. He's giving Beer Baron the run for his money. Boy, Beer Baron is going to be jealous when he sees this. Let's see. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, it's kind of a slow night talking Devils hockey. Can't wait for this weekend. I'll be at American Whiskey on Sunday. Now, Sunday's going to be a killer for me because we were going to lose an hour. So, I don't know. My schedule's all, like, messed up right now. But I'll still be at American Whiskey for at least Game Day Live. Still trying to figure out Devils After Dark, if I'll still be at AW. 51 Edison Place. Beautiful downtown Newark, New Jersey, in the Ironbound section. Across the street from Prudential Center. Next to Championship Plaza. All right, folks. And also, April 13th, come join us. Stagehouse Tavern, 1099, Route 22, eastbound side, in Mountainside, New Jersey, in Union County. Arlette is throwing a viewing party. We'll be there. Be there, be square. All live entertainment with Arlette. Let's see. Carolina plays Vegas tomorrow, says Max, then us. Well, hopefully Vegas tires them out. But we shall see, folks. We shall see. Want to thank all those tuning in on this Friday night, dropping the podcast at midnight for Saturday. Just remember, Game Day Live, 6 p.m. Eastern. And Devils After Dark after the game. Scotty at Sirius XM, Liquid Metal, and I will recap the game that was. And also, we'll be back also for Sunday. No Let's Go Devils podcast, 9 p.m. Sunday edition. Second week of preemption because of the games. That's okay. But we still have Game Day Live and Devils After Dark. Yeah, I can't believe that we got 90 points already, Steve Engel. 90 points. The Devils are in great position right now. And I wouldn't mind if Lindy Ruff kept on shuffling the lines, because I would love to see the line of Haula, Palat, and Meyer, if you could actually do that. That would be kind of cool. But the Devils, some players are getting hot at the right time. And we shall see how they do down the stretch. But it's a team coming together. Just got to clean up some of their game. Some undisciplined penalties. But soon enough, they'll be in the playoffs. And we got to get ourselves ready. If you're going to play the New York Rangers in the first round, basically you got to put on your body armor for those games. It'll be very intense. And that's why we play the games, folks. Yeah, I want to thank all those tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow. This is the Woo Report. Till next time, let's go Devils.